Welcome, adventurers, to another episode of the Thumbstick Event, to episode 13 of the Thumbstick Adventurers. I'm Kagros.
IDK.
Juicy samples.
Alright, so if you're watching this live, you're watching us on Twitch. We stream every Wednesday, starting at 8 p.m. PST. We usually go until 10. If you're watching this on our YouTube channel, you can find our other videos there as well. So if you're watching us on one platform, you can go to the other platform and see what we're all about. And before we jump into today's episode, I just want to briefly address our previous episode, which we talked about GameStop. And it's been one hell of a week for all of us following the news on Reddit and everything. And I think we all feel like doing the GameStop episode last week was definitely, a very good call for all of us. And we are still watching everything unfold, and it's really something. This event has been life changing for maybe not life changing is not the word.
Can have life-changing effects. I can tell you that.
I don't want to say life changing, but I think it has huge implications on the finance world moving forward. So,
Which is going to affect me. My life. Life-changing.
anyways,
It's certainly interesting for anyone involved.
It just so happens to be GameStop.
Yeah, it just happens.
Just so happens.
Yeah, power to the players, right? Power to the players. So, anyways,
players.
if you're watching this live and it's still ongoing, I heavily recommend that you follow what's going on, because I think what's going on has implications for you. If you're younger, it will definitely have implications for you, because it might change the way that you can basically. It will change the way that you can probably do with what you can do with your money. So, and if you're older, it's still very good to keep an eye, because I don't think anyone's ever seen anything like this before. So for me, I feel like this is the perfect 10-year follow up on Occupy Wall Street, and it has a lot. There's a lot. There's actually a much stronger signal being sent, because Wall Street is actually losing money. The big funds are actually losing money. Whereas 10 years ago, I think the three of us, we all watched what unfolded during the Occupy movement, right? And it was a bunch of protests, but not much changed on Wall Street since then. And now this time, I feel like things are gonna change for the better or the worse. I can't say, but
I think in 1 week, this event, as we're going to call it, has done more to Wall Street than Occupy Wall Street did in its entirety.
yes,
Because it hit them right where it hurts,
yes,
right in the kisser.
yes,
Now the government's paying attention, now the people are paying attention, and now those slimy bastards are having to pay attention.
yes.
But I think that's enough of that topic. We got something more important to talk
Let's
about.
do
today,
it.
ladies and gentlemen. Now, as your host for this week, I am IDK, and I'm pleased to introduce you. The topic for this week will be Riot Games. That's right, ladies and gents. I said Riot Games. There's an S at the end of that name. I'll get into that later. But we are going to talk about Riot Games, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get a third party's viewpoint on what defines League of Legends. Champions, the characters you get to pick when you play. So our lovely Juicy Samples is going to look through a list of champions and tell us which ones he likes, which ones pop out to him, which ones seem laborious.
And which one is IDK's favorite? IDK's
We will
waifu?
get to that too. We will have a focus on Juicy first, and then Kagros and I, as the longtime veterans of League of Legends. And for that viewpoint, I should say, this episode of Riot, focused on Riot Games, will be mainly focused on League of Legends, their flagship title. Yes, I did mention they have an S in their name. Yes, they finally do have other games. Those are a long-time running meme for them.
Mm-hmm.
They only have one game, but they're called Riot Games. Mm-hmm. We're not really going to get into them tonight. Maybe we will at the end, if we decide to talk about the company and its future. But for now, let's focus on League of Legends and the champions. Now, you see? What are you seeing?
Are you talking to me, IDK?
Yeah.
So, let me tell you my history with Riot and League of Legends, and more recently TFT, Teamfight Tactics. So I played League of Legends. I first downloaded the client back in college with you folks in our third year, and I was running this shitty Windows laptop. I downloaded it, tried playing it, and my laptop didn't work. Like, the game didn't work on my laptop, so that was it. I tried playing it on the MacBook, which I got in college as well, but then I think they didn't have a Mac support, or didn't have an official Mac support, so I never got a chance to play it. So that's it. That's it for League. That's all I know. I don't know anything about the heroes. And then yesterday was the first time I played TFT, and the only heroes I know are Nasuo, Jana, Yasuo. Which one's the arrow guy? Nasus or
the arrow guy?
Or I don't know. See, that's how much I know about this game. So, IDK, IDK, I have the client up, but am I supposed to start League or TFT?
Oh no! What are you trying to? What are you trying to show?
Oh, should I be showing the heroes?
No. How about there? So I'll display on my screen, and you just tell me like what you're looking at. So give me 1 second. Let's see screen. There we go.
Oh.
Let me do this.
Is it not Nasuo? Or I know it's not Nasuo. It's
Yasuo.
Who is it?
Starts with a Y.
No. But who's the one with the N?
Nasus.
Nasus. I thought I said Nasus.
But you said Nasuo, which was like a combination of the two, which would be hilarious.
So we have one Twitch chat viewer asking us if we pee in the shower.
Oh, do you pee in the shower?
I do not pee in the shower. FYI, I do not pee.
Oh, I missed the chat. Yo, sometimes when you gotta go, you gotta go. That's
yes. In the shower, huh? Well, it is my own personal shower. Yes. If it's a shared shower, no.
Oh, look at you! You're a trooper.
Oh yes.
You're a trooper.
Give it to yourself.
You're a trooper, IDK. All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Juicy.
Okay, I'm looking at the screen.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So, how do you want me to go about this? There's so many heroes.
Yeah, IDK. There's a lot of heroes, man.
Well, I just as he scrolls down, or if you can like pull it up on your own screen, simply say a person, whatever it looks like. Just say like, oh, that looks interesting. I think you can read the names from here.
So I do have a question. Is there a way to filter this by like the most recent released champions? Let's do that. So I'll just go down. I
have recently played that I played, but by release.
Let's do that. Let's sure. Do what Kagros has played recently. I'm sure IDK can comment like, oh, what a garbage character! Like, why we could play that.
All right, so let's go through it. So this is the most recent Brand. And then we got Brand is.
So Brand looks like what's that guy's Ghost Rider's cousin?
Yes, Ghost Rider's cousin. Yes. We've got Vel'Koz. He is like a tentacle monster, one-eyed tentacle monster. He shoots lasers out of his eyes.
Is that right? Okay.
Morgana.
I can already comment that he's OP, but he's alright. It's alright.
We got Morgana, who is the fallen angel.
Of course. That's unfortunate. That's just stealing the Morgana character from what's it, Darkstalkers. Of course, League of Legends. Come on, up your game.
And then we got Lucian. You know,
Lucian, can you highlight?
Yeah.
Highlight over him.
Yeah, he is a dark-skinned man using two guns. Dual wielding.
He looks
guns.
very fast.
Very reminiscent of Blade, kind of.
All I do know is that there's a character named Twisted Fate.
Yes.
Does he? Are they cousins?
No, they are not.
No, they are not. Not related at all.
And then we got Nidalee, who is like a jungle huntress that uses a javelin, and she can.
I think that's IDK's top 5 for sure. Jungle Beast Lady is definitely IDK's wheelhouse.
Wow. Do you know me so well? So you can turn into a cougar.
Yeah, you can turn into a cougar. Is it a cougar? Let's not say it's a cougar. Let's say it's a cougar.
I already see IDK's favorite. I see IDK's favorite already. If you were to scroll down, I can see it.
Which one?
I think your mouse is over it. It's Ari, for sure, Ari.
Oh, yeah?
Ari.
Okay.
If you don't got a body pillow for her, you gotta get 2. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it's a fox girl.
I
mean, should we just go? I mean, if are we looking for IDK Senior Champions? Is that what you're trying to? That's what we're doing, right?
No, I just.
I wanted to go through and find the ones that Juicy likes. But
I see.
There are 150.
I see. Yeah, there are a lot. There are a lot of champions.
Out of these top 10, my favorite has to go with Brand.
Brand? You like Ghost Rider?
Ghost Rider's cousin. But I think Vel'Koz can look like a fun character to play as. Nasus, yeah, that's the person that I was using.
Nasus, yeah, Nasus.
But I think I would go Nidalee all day, every day. So that's
let me quickly scroll down, see if you see anyone that else catches your fancy.
Sona? What does she do?
So Sona is a mute. What instrument does she play? It's not a harp.
She plays an etol.
Yeah. So she plays a string instrument. She's mute and she communicates with the summoner through telepathy. She's a support character.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
I think she's my style.
She's based off of Hatsune Miku, if you couldn't tell.
Yeah.
Oh.
That was her original influence.
All right. See ya, Chunky.
Yeah, that. See you later, Chunks. That's about it.
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot. Keep going. Okay.
Yasuo, there you go. I know Yasuo.
Yasuo.
I know Amumu. Isn't Amumu one of the older characters?
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Actually, I think he's one of the original characters. Original
Graves?
champions. Yeah.
Graves is pretty old.
Graves came out right about the time when we started playing.
Mm-hmm.
I think IDK top 5 is also Samira too.
Samira, huh?
Yeah, Samira right there.
Where was Samira right here? Yeah.
Scroll up a bit.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's an interesting call out there.
That is an interesting call out.
Misfortune. Obviously, he's trying to get them points, them easy points, but nah, that doesn't fly by with IDK. There needs to be some substance, and unfortunately, Misfortune does not have the fortune. Has no substance.
So I'm going to scroll down until I have hit basically all of IDK's top 5. FYI. So I'm going to keep scrolling.
Caitlyn, obviously.
Yeah.
Caitlyn. So that's 3 of them so far, I think. I think I counted 3. Or maybe 4.
Irene, Samira.
No, you counted 4, yeah.
4, okay.
Don't count Samira, though. She's not in my top 5.
Who is?
FYI, I don't... No, okay, I'm not going to say anything.
Oh, who's the one next to the little crocodile?
Irelia.
Irelia.
Oh.
She fights using like a telepathic sword or a bunch of swords, and she uses her mind to control them.
That's pretty dope. I think she's top 10, but not top 5. I do like that crocodile, the Renekton.
Renekton, yes.
Yeah, I'm sure he's garbage, but he looks really cool.
A little bit A, a little bit B.
Who am I kidding? Of course, the waifu is Dr. Mundo. Look at that, shirtless, easy. Okay, I'm done.
You done?
I'm done.
Okay. That's,
Dr. Mundo, top 5, right?
That's actually pretty funny. That's actually pretty funny. I think IDK knows why I say that's pretty funny. that we had ended here.
Of course.
And Wukong. Got a shout out to Wukong. I'm sure he got nerfed many times.
Surprisingly, you're not wrong. Okay. So, now we've gotten some insight from our third observer. We're going to now go through Kagros and I and say who our favorite waifu.
Waifu, so we're going female characters first, right? Our favorite waifus, right?
Yes.
Do you guys have like a top 5 or top 3?
I think I only have 2. I don't really have a top 5.
Okay.
I think I have a top 5. It's more like a top 4.
You think? Or you know? I'm sure you have a top 10 already.
IDK has a top 1. I know IDK has a top 1 and a top 2, for sure.
Oh, Kagros, you think you know it, but you might be surprised.
If I'm a betting man, I would say Ari's got to be one of the top 2.
You know, I'd say you might win some money in Vegas. Might say.
Yeah.
But how about Kagros? You go first.
You want me to do my top 2?
Who is your?
All right. So number 2 for me is actually Morgana. I really like her backstory. I like the spin that Riot put on her rework story, where she, even though she's the fallen angel, she's actually the good one. So Morgana has a sister called Kale, who is the symbol of justice, but she's actually very very strict and stubborn and very unwielding. You know, basically it's my way or the highway. And then Morgana is the person who believes in freedom. So I really like Morgana. I like her design. I like her story. So she's my number 2. So I think it's pretty funny how you commented on both of mine. But so actually my favorite, even though I don't play her anymore, because I don't know how to play her, is actually Aurelia. I really like her design. And then her original, let me see if I can.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. That's the full splash art for her. So she is definitely one of my. I just really like her design. I think it's really cool. Mainly it's because I like her design.
She sounds like a Psylocke character, like psychic telepathy, psychic knives, or psychic swords.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. One of them blade dancers, like I said, she dances with her swords using telepathy.
All right, IDK, let's hear it.
IDK, all I say is if Misfortune is on your top list, you're getting disowned.
No, she's not. She's like top 149. There's only 150 chance. It's like number 130 or something. Okay, so we go from the bottom.
As long as Dr. Mundo's above her.
No, actually, I do enjoy playing Dr. Mundo, but no, number 5. Let me see here. I think number 5 probably gonna be. This is just the waifus, right?
Yeah, so we're talking about
The
waifus only.
anticipating is getting to me. Well, I'll let IDK. Okay.
Because I'm getting like my top 5 champions intermixed. Like I have males on that list. I'm trying.
I wanted to ask very quickly. The second hero, Kagros, Vel'Koz, the eyeball. Is he good?
Vel'Koz? Yes. I mean, in the mode that we play, yes, absolutely. Me and IDK normally play ARAM, which is basically like one lane. So basically, the champions are fighting against each other just in one narrow space. So he just keeps shooting lasers, and it's really annoying. So.
Yeah, he's had his moments where he's good in the regular game mode, but usually as a support, never as his intended role, which is mid-lane. Okay, my number 5 would be Caitlyn.
Caitlyn, who's that?
Caitlyn. So let me pull up her.
Here's the one you saw before. the sniper lady.
Yep.
She's an older champ, and she was like one of the few AD carries one of the marksmen. People who use a ranged weapon who were playing the bot lane. She's like one of the few I actually had mastery over, kind of. I enjoyed playing her.
She's cool.
Because she's cool,
She's
but
steampunk.
her model's outdated.
The steampunk.
Steampunk. She has some interesting costumes, but other than that, she's definitely in need of like a visual update. And there's so much more they can do with her, but they're not.
This would have been in my top 5, along with the Psylocke girl. I forgot her name. Sorry.
Aurelia. Yep.
Aurelia. If we're going to go number 4, number 4 actually probably is going to be Aurelia as well.
Oh, really? Aurelia, you too, huh? Really?
I really actually enjoy Aurelia.
So far, I 100% will back up IDK's list.
Okay.
I mean, the thing is, Aurelia is notorious for her booty, so I'm sure you as a booty man would agree.
Based on the 2 artwork, I would have swapped the 2. I think, sorry, I forgot the name already, but the Caitlyn girl, she looks a lot cooler, aesthetically.
It's interesting, because their splash is really old. But, as Aurelia number 4, if we're going to go for number 3, it's going to have to be Nidalee. You guys sit around the money with that one.
Are you serious? It's actually Nidalee? IDK!
Nidalee's number 3. Nidalee has a very soft spot in my heart among the waifus of League.
I knew it! See, you can't deny the Jungle Beast in IDK.
I mean, the thing is, we'll get to it later when we discuss how and why I spent so much money on this damn game.
That one looks
IDK wished that he was a beast rather than a Drake.
Ice Beast King, yeah, I could totally change that.
IBK.
IB2. Number 2.
Which vowel am I entering? Which vowel am I entering? IDK.
Iron. Hey,
yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I was right. Then I was definitely right about IDK's top 2. I had the order correct. Unless his top 1 is going to be a surprise ball out of left field where he's clearly lying.
You know what? Now looking at her in this art, she's not that good. I'm just gonna say it. She's not that good. I would reverse your list at this moment. I think your top 5 is your top 2, and top 4, so on and so forth.
Anyways, Irie was one of the champs I was most excited for coming out back before she was released. And you could say she was the rock that broke the dam when I started spending money on League. Like
IDK sipping for Ari, dude. Like once the moment Ari opened her OnlyFans, IDK was off to the wallet was open. Once Ari opened her OnlyFans, the wallet was open. Just open the floodgates.
Yeah, I'm one of them Ari simps, okay?
IDK is the only fan.
Nidalee got first blood, but Ari is the one that opened up everything. Here's number 2. And that's because another woman, and I say woman because this is a lot of woman, is number 1. My number 1 pick, champ I always go to when I'm picking my waifu in League.
Yep.
The best.
Yep.
The greatest.
Yep.
Yaoi.
Yep.
Yaoi?
Yaoi. You see the splash art? You see where her foot is? You see where her foot is? That, IDK wants to be under, you see in that splash art, she's stepping on that statue? That's where IDK wants to be.
That's where I put my enemies. Click on that skin on the left. The divine one.
The Kraken Priestess? Or the alien
Cosmic
one?
Invoker. No, that one. You're on it already. Cosmic Invoker.
Okay.
That's your newest
Cosmic
one.
Invoker, yeah. Yep, it's on it.
Yeah, this one is like one of my favorite skins so far. Because it's so cool.
I'm down.
It makes it like a deity. And it's just Yaoi is a champ that, for whatever reason, I latched onto and started playing a lot. Like, a lot. And mostly it's because I play top lane.
Yep.
So, for me, it was like, I need a champ to play because Rumble kind of got nerfed out of top lane. And it was like, well, what do I play? I picked her. And I had surprising success with her. And she's a very simple champion. Very much, you do one thing really well. And if you do it well, you win. And if you don't, well, you kind of get screwed. But I love her design. I love her voice. She, VA does a good job conveying her character. Has some okay skins, finally. For a long time, she only had one garbage one. And, the big women. I should love that big woman.
I love the skin. I understand why you would buy this skin.
Yeah, that one and the one right next to it, the Battle Cast.
Is she one of the newer characters?
Relatively
new. I'd say 5 years
How much
old
does
at
this
this
cost?
point, maybe. I think they're both $13.50.
Yeah, 1350. Yep.
I see.
Yeah, the Battlecast one was via vote, so we actually had 3 different skin decisions, and the Yaoi fans picked Battlecast. Cool, that's good colors.
So when we were going through, so first of all, Juicy, I knew for sure you weren't going to get IDK's number 1. Like there was no way you would even have looked at it and pointed it out. But
most people wouldn't pick Yaoi.
Yeah, like what I thought was funny was that actually when you said we're done here, I was showing Yaoi on the screen. She was.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she was on the screen.
Yeah.
I was like, ah! Because like hold on, let me see. So
I stopped at the crocodile guy.
no. Let me see.
I stopped at Dr. Mundo, obviously.
Recently played. So
Dr. Mundo's cool. Well, Dr. Mundo's pretty cool. He's getting a visual update too, so he's gonna look even better.
She's.
Oh yeah.
The male version.
You said Dr. Mundo, and then you stopped there.
Yaoi.
I was like this.
We scrolled down and we got to right there.
Where is she
Which is
at?
funny
Right here.
because she's right there. I'm pointing at my screen.
Right here.
Right there.
Sorry, I'm super blind. Oh, I see. Fine. Yeah.
What's funny is, on this screen right here are 4 of my mains. I used to play League a lot. 4 of these characters were characters I played a lot.
Which one? Nautilus, Yaoi,
Nautilus, Yaoi,
Ziggs.
Ornn. No, I didn't play a bunch of Ziggs.
Oh.
I played Yaoi, Nautilus, Ornn, and Yorick.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Honestly, from here, I wouldn't have known that Yaoi is a woman.
Yeah.
Just like the distance was, I can't tell.
So since
I just hear big leg.
Since I only put 2, so IDK had thought that. So let me show you what IDK thought was my favorite, or close was this one, Shyvana. She's a half dragon. I played her a lot. That's why when I was originally playing in college, I played her a lot. She was one of my top champions. So that's why IDK thought I had a soft spot for her. And then let me show. And then also, I think IDK knows this one too. Sejuani. I played Sejuani a lot. She is very fun in my role in the jungle. Basically, you pop out in the lane, you kill, and then you basically get 2 free. Once the ultimate is off cooldown, it's basically 2 free kills.
But you gotta show the classic skin. Show what she originally looked like.
Is there a classic skin here? She doesn't have a classic skin, does she?
Yeah, she does. Right there.
Which one?
Keep
Firecracker,
going.
Beast Hunter.
No.
They're in traditional Sejuani, right?
Traditional.
This is what she used to look like.
Yeah.
But the splash art was still different, but this is basically what she looked like.
Yeah, she wore a bikini to battle, basically.
I mean, you couldn't see the
lore
bikini.
was literally-
You couldn't see the bikini in battle, though. It didn't really
The
look.
lore was literally, she's so immune to the cold, she can just wear a bikini. That's it. And people were outraged about that.
Yes.
So they changed her and gave her that full plate mail.
Yeah.
armor.
And then obviously,
Sorry, I have to commend Riot for having amazing beast ladies. I think that character and the other character were pretty good.
Yeah, and then
Just
finally
saying.
this one I played her a lot too. Leona.
Yeah, I saw her too when you were scrolling down. I thought she looked, kind of like the typical like archangel,
She's not even an angel though. She's just the warrior of the sun. She's like a sun
like
knight,
a
basically.
paladin. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
she's a paladin. Yeah, paladin. Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And random trivia is her face current right now. They'll probably change it when they visually update her and get rid of the splash. But her face is based off of one of the artist's wives.
Wow, that's cool.
He doesn't work. He doesn't work there anymore.
Yep, he doesn't work there anymore.
But he did base her face on his wife's face.
That's very cool.
I don't think anyone. Let me see. Let me quickly look to see if there's anyone else that I really like. At least in terms of female characters. Like, it's pretty ironic because the ones that I really do like, I don't really play.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
But I mean, this is all. We also play ARAM, yeah. So nothing else pops to mind. Anyways, IDK, I'll send it back to you.
That was awesome. That was awesome. That was really fun.
Okay.
I think you guys have excellent choice in
But
waifus.
this was just the waifus, though. We haven't gone to the male characters.
The next two talking points we can probably get through pretty quickly. But most used Rule 34 champion.
Obviously, Dr. Mundo. Hands down. Shirt ripped, boom. That's you got some disgusting things. It's nasty.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you, you're wrong right now. You were wrong right now.
Is it Ari?
Ari is probably among the top 3.
She got them tails, right?
She's number
she's like a
one,
nine tail.
Dude, okay, so if Ari is number 1, there can be only one other one. There's only one other one that it could possibly be. If Ari's not number 1.
It better not be Morgana. I'd be really disappointed.
It's not Morgana.
It's not Morgana. It's definitely not Morgana.
It's not Morgana.
It's another one of IDK's favorites.
Actually, you'd be wrong. I do like this champion, but she's not one of my favorites because I don't play her. Kaisa. Kaisa has overtaken Ari.
Kaisa?
Who's that?
I thought it'd be Nidalee. I was thinking it was Nidalee. I thought it was Nidalee.
Oh, Nidalee as the resident Rule 34 lurker here, exposed to the open, is not Nidalee.
It's not Nidalee? Are you serious?
Kaisa. People love Kaisa. And you think it'd be Evelyn too. Like, you should probably show Evelyn on the screen. Yeah. She's literally a lust demon. She's practically naked.
Please show me everything.
Not Rule 34.
This is Evelyn.
I see what you mean, IDK. Okay.
Like, she's literally lust incarnate, but
yeah,
not that popular. Granted,
boring.
Not that popular still means she has thousands of submissions, but
no substance.
Yeah. You know who's surprisingly
I need a backstory.
Surprisingly up there is a colleague, but that's mainly because he was in KDA, one of Riot's fictional top fans. And she got a visual update a while back too. Basically, Ninja Girl. Yeah.
Wait, so she's top?
She was up there in top Rule 34 submissions. Irene, a colleague, which of course Kaisa is part of this group as well.
Yeah, let me throw up Kaisa as well.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Was that character part of that KDA trailer release? Okay,
yeah.
Makes sense. He's really that music trailer has got to be one of the best trailers ever.
Actually, is there another?
He has another one. That's
there it is. There it is. Yeah, that's our KDA.
Yeah, this is the KDA one. He's very popular.
IDK, I hope you talk about trailers tonight, just because I think League has probably the coolest trailers ever, especially the KDA. I'm not a League player, but I watched that trailer. It's so cool.
We can certainly discuss Riot's interesting advertising schemes, especially with their music videos.
Mm-hmm.
They've done quite a few of those in the past, but the KDA one was definitely their breakaway one. Get Jinx was the first one. We'll discuss that later. But Get Jinx, KDA, and True Damage. True Damage, KDA, and Giants. Yeah, we'll get to those later. KDA is the big one though. That's the one that really helped.
In terms of power level, I'm sure they're pretty garbage, right?
Kaisa is popular as a champion. She comes in and out of meta, and she's very popular design, especially in China. We'll get to that later too. But all the KDA girls, except for Evelyn, are generally popular in Rule 34.
Oh, does
Evelyn
have a KDA as well?
Yeah, Evelyn's a KDA as well.
So pretty much all the KDA girls are in Rule 34?
Yeah, they're all among the top. I think the one that would surprise you the most in Rule 34, it has to be Jinx. Like that, she's a breakaway hit because her design is so different from all the rest of the women in League.
Cause she crazy.
League women have a very stereotypical look. They're usually buxom, usually have a nice butt. They're usually sort of like a supermodel. Jinx was their attempt to design the absolute opposite of that. She's flat as a board, she's skinny, she's like sickly looking, and she has a huge fan base, and is in a bunch of porn. Rule 34 and otherwise. Very popular character, especially in Asia, especially in China.
It's a Harley Quinn knockoff. I'm sorry.
Exactly. Yeah, basically. If you look at some of her skins, they, got doing some pretty interesting stuff. She's a very popular character. Very popular. Makes money.
I like that Christmas skin. That was a pretty cool one.
Jinx is really popular too.
Oh, Ambitious Elf.
It's a good.
The Ambitious
Elf, yeah. Honestly, Jinx is good too. Now, we're done with Rule 34. We can move on to who is the current OP champion? In League of Legends, OP is always shifting. There will always be at least one champ who stands at the top of the pile. Gotta be picked, gotta be banned, or to pray to the gods the person playing him is garbage. That champ, right now, the best of my knowledge, is Samira.
Oh yeah, Samira. I was typing in Yasuo. I forgot Samira.
Yasuo is very annoying. Zoe is very annoying. Seraphine's very annoying. But Samira is the one that people will just constantly bring up right now because she is very annoying to play against.
I mean, like
top 5. Oh. Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah. Samira's in my top 6. Samira's my top 6 because I don't play her. That's why.
IDK. I think there's one common thread with Yasuo and Samira, is that they can destroy projectiles, and I think that's one of the things why they're broken.
That is right. They can destroy projectiles. But whereas Yasuo is he plays on a wall of wind that eats up all projectiles. So if you're a ranged character and he throws it right in front of you, you have to walk around it to hit him, and he can just walk behind the wall and keep hitting you with his sword. You kind of get screwed. Samira can block projectiles, but that's not really what makes her OP. It's annoying, to be fair. What makes her OP is that she casts her ult and basically lifesteal back to full very easily, and she can move during it, and she basically can wipe her entire team by herself, even if she's not fed. She has one person to help her lock down targets. She'll just bullet time, kill them all. To give you an idea of what Samira does, she's basically the League's version of Dante. From Devil May Cry.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Firing guns, swinging swords, killing everyone. And people hate her.
Is there not an artwork of her stepping on someone's head? Because I wouldn't mind being that person.
I mean, you can search the fan art, you'll find it. You'll search the fan art, you'll find it.
She's growing in popularity. I wouldn't be surprised if
But she's new. She's new though. She's really new.
She is very new. She came out in the last 3 or 4 months.
Yeah. So the thing
I
about
want to say.
so we're talking about OP champs right now, but I think Riot does have a problem with balancing champs that have high skill ceilings. So I think Samira is a relatively high skill ceiling champion. So basically, if you're a noob, you can't play her very well. But like if you're a professional, right, you can definitely play her very well.
The thing with Samir is she gets going. It's very difficult to stop her at any level of the game. Granted, at the lower levels, things might not be as coordinated, so maybe she won't get the pop off as hard. But she's very annoying. She's probably right to the top of the OP list. Currently allowed in pro play. Now, we have a newcomer who very well may be number 1 OP in a couple weeks. And he's the newest champion that just got released. Viego. Or Viego. This guy...
Look at this guy. Look at him. Look
this
at
guy
him.
He's what we'd classify as a lore champion.
Oh.
He's a character that's been out in lore for a long time, and Riot has finally released him. Other champs like this would be Yone, who's Yasuo's brother, who was dead in the lore but brought back to life. And then here we have Viego, who is the Ruined King. There's an item named after him in the store you can buy. And he's just... The reason why he's popping up as being really OP is because of his ult. He can possess a target enemy and use them to attack his allies. And then when he pops off, he can sometimes copy their abilities. Or he can use them while he's possessing them.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of weird interactions that people are just finding out now because he's so new. And it's giving him a lot of hidden strength. But you know to pick him into certain matchups. He can take advantage of those matchups in ways that the other player has no ability to stop.
Yeah.
Like, one of my champs I used to like to play Ornn before he got reworked has a passive where he can upgrade people's items. There's a certain subset of items you can buy, Ornn can upgrade. If Viego takes control of an enemy Ornn, he can upgrade his allies' weapons permanently for the rest of the game. And then when he goes out of Ornn, yeah. I don't think he can keep upgrading him. He can only upgrade him when he's actually possessing Ornn.
Yeah.
But, like, he can take control. He can take control of different champions, and he's getting a variety of abilities that make him super strong and potentially busted. And the designer, Riot August, who's a good designer, he makes some interesting champions. He's kind of like, yeah, we knew about it. We're going to run with it, see what happens. And this is one of the things.
Like I said, IEK, Riot has a problem balancing high skill ceiling champions. I think Viego
has a problem where designers make up these kooky champions and the developers can't tell them no, that's going to break the game. They have to make it and they put it in. They just sit there and rub their heads going, how are we going to fix this? How are we going to make this actually work in our 11-year-old game? Things don't work as is.
I'd love to talk about design philosophy, but I do have to comment. One, I wouldn't mind him stepping on me as well. A very, very attractive would be my top 5 waifu / husbandas. And you're saying the top 2 OP characters are from Devil May Cry? Because he's pretty much Virgil. Yeah, female Dante and sexy as Virgil.
Yeah, that's I think. They do like
it makes me want to play.
From a lot of things. And he's a jungler. I don't know if he actually works in lanes or not, but he's only really been playing in the jungle. So, yeah, he's OP.
IDK, I'm not sure if you're going to talk about, like, design philosophy, but just your comment on having characters designed based on, like, having kooky designs. Like, I feel like that's such a great thing to have, even if they're OP, because... Like
it can be, and let's transition to that since we want to talk about it now, since we're on champions. Riot's design philosophy has always been about pushing the boundaries of the game, and game balance is second. Now, some of them would say that's not true, but results speak for themselves. Champions like, let's see here, Thresh, Actually, the champion, who when he originally came out broke the game because he was hands down the best support ever made. Yasuo is a champion who, when he came out, broke the game. Had to be nerfed. Zyra, champion came out, she broke the game. Had to be nerfed immediately because he was too powerful. I bring up those three because they're all designed by the same person, Burnley T. He was a designer on League. He stopped designing for League 3 or 4 years ago, maybe. A lot of his designs were very unique, very powerful, very fun to play as, but they were terrible to play against. They're frustrating. They're hard to counter. They broke the game in ways that I think if a different designer were doing it, they would have stopped them from putting it in the game. But they revolutionized the game. And for Riot, that's always been important because you want to keep people playing. If things get boring or stale, people will leave. And obviously, that means your money dries up. So you got to get people to play interesting champions and then to buy skins for them, too. Mm-hmm. To keep your money vaults going and to keep gameplay flowing, to keep it cool and interesting. This, of course, leads to headaches upon headaches of having to try to balance these champions to actually fit and work within the game as it exists, as it changes and morphs into something new. And it's even led to the game having to be changed at the fundamental level, where certain strategies or gameplay philosophies have had to be erased because they weren't healthy for the game, either due to the champion enabling them or because of an item combination on the champion enabling them. And this always, of course, provides a lot of headache to players. You're trying to learn a game, trying to get good at it. It's difficult to when every 2 weeks the game changes. And the champion that you may have been good with becomes trash. Do you keep playing that champion? Do you move on to who's OP? Or do you just pick a third party that wasn't touched? That's still fine. And over time, this can kind of cause your mind to become like a Velcro strap. So in the beginning, when you're first playing League, you slap right on to the game. And then it's hard to pull you away from it. You just keep getting ripped off every time you change it. But eventually the Velcro weakens. Eventually your grip on that weakens and you stop caring as much and you stop wanting to deal with all the changes and eventually you just like slap on the League and you slide right off. I feel like a lot of players reach that point after like a couple of years if they're not hooked in by their friends. If you don't have friends to play League with, you will eventually get tired of all the changes they do to keep it fresh because you'll just get tired of trying to keep up. And it's this gameplay, it's this design philosophy that mainly contributes to that. Keeps people interested because new people will run on board. Like you said, you thought he looked really cool and you want to play right. That's their intention with this. But for someone like us, like me and Kagros, who've been around the block, we see this guy and we go, this guy's going to make my solo queue games a nightmare. I don't want to deal with him. What are you doing, Ryan? And they just look at us and go, Printer go, brrr.
Wouldn't you want to be this character? Like, wouldn't you want to play this character?
I mean, the problem is, the role he plays, I don't like to play.
Mm.
So for me, the champion doesn't really apply. Like, yes, he looks cool. Yes, he's a lore champion we've been looking forward to. And yes, we were disappointed in his design because we thought he'd be an older, more rugged-looking, or evil-looking bastard. But the fact that he made him so pretty and young-looking, kind of is their design philosophy. They want champions young-looking. They want champions attractive. They want to attract you to the game.
If you get me Master Roshi in this game, I'll play. He needs to be old and wrinkly and has a cane. I'm in. Top 10 at least.
Well, maybe you would have liked Old Swain.
Yeah.
That was very Old Swain before they updated him to make him look young.
Oh.
Yep.
Unfortunately, a lot of older champs, uglier champs, are being melted away and made into sexier looking champs to attract more people. These champs don't really ever get made because they don't get played. They don't sell skins, so they're kind of on the decline as well. They claim they'll make beast champs, but then they make something like where is she? Not Nico. What's her name? Lilia. The deer champ. She was the one monster champ we got last year. And you'll see why in a second. This is a pretty girl who's half deer.
Half deer? More of these beast ladies?
Yes, exactly. That's the thing. That makes money. People buy skins for them. People like them. Whereas something like Kindred. See this? This is the embodiment of death in Runeterra, the world of League of Legends. Mm-hmm. We're supposed to be a dual champion. You have like Lamb and Wolf. Unfortunately, the design didn't really come through, so all you really do is play as Lamb, and Wolf is like on one ability. So, like,
interesting.
This is also a female champ. This is also a popular kind of champ. But they're not overly sexy. They're more beastly. As a result, they don't sell as many skins. But it's still like one of the more popular beast monsters. A poor, I'd say Skarner. Skarner and Ornn have sort of struggled with the skins and popularity. They've gotten more popular as recent because of their gameplay. But Skarner is a cool-ass Crystal Scorpion.
They nerfed him. They changed him. They made him bad.
They changed him. They nerfed his items, and they really haven't been showing him any love. It really sucks. And like all we've mainly been getting is humanoid champions, or the closest thing is Lilia. Half deer, half human, where really the focus is on her human part. They haven't really been delivering on the monster or non-humanoid categories.
Yeah, no. First impression for this champion, it looks like Krabby from Hell.
He is Krabby from Hell.
He's a scorpion. And also,
if you put him in a bush, he'll go Skarner. He has a Pokemon reference.
But yeah.
Dear lady means more feet to step on me with. Yes, that's right. Although if you want to get stepped on, maybe you should go with Set. He'll definitely step on you.
I mean, he steps on people in game, literally.
Yes. He also haymakers them. And this is a fox. This is basically Beast Boy.
Oh jeez, he looks like a douche.
Oh yeah, he sounds like one too. But he's kind of cool. But
he looks like a emo rock band boy.
Yeah.
He's the boss. He's the boss.
Yeah, he's a pit fighter from Ionia. He's half human, half beast. Yeah, he's got a lot of problems. I like that. That's an attractive beast man. To bring
problems as in like daddy problems or what?
Yeah, he's got daddy problems. His dad was human and abandoned him and his mom.
Damn.
So
it's too real.
But that's League's design philosophy. They want you to play champs that are frustrating to play against, but fun for you to play as, and they want champs that are attractive or beautiful in some way.
So
there are no more ugly champs.
So we have a comment from chat. Grace J says, "Dear lady means more feet to step on me with."
Oh, I know. I read that. That's why I said get step to go instead. Lilia will eat away.
That's why you picked that scorpion guy. You got more feet.
What are we? Get stepped on? Are we a get stepped on podcast? Are we gonna do a get who do we want stepping on this episode next? Huh?
Top 10 get stepped on. IDK, I'm very curious. You're talking about all these champions. I do want to know which champion you have that has the most skins you've bought.
Well, that's a good question. That's a good question.
That's a very good question.
Is it the sorry, your top one waifu?
No.
Yaoi?
It can't be a Yaoi. She doesn't have enough skins to be in contention for most.
Ari?
Like I do have all of her skins. Ari might be of the top 5 the one I have the most skins for. That has like the one with most skins in the game. She had a lot. I think I have almost every single one of them. Let me see here. So her base, Dynasty, Midnight, Foxfire, Popstar, Challenger, Academy, Arcade, Star Guardian, KDA. I don't have the Prestige one because I didn't bother grinding tokens for it. Elderwood, Spirit Blossom, and KDA all out. Yeah, I think I have all of those.
I have a question. During tournament play, do people get to choose different skins?
So, tournament play is very interesting. In the early days of League, there were certain skins that were banned from being played on stage because of their limited availability. This is like the pack skins you could only get by going to packs back in like 2008, 2009? No, 2010, 2011. They were very hard to get. The Riot didn't want pros playing with those skins, advertising for them because no one could buy them. Or skins that had definite pay-to-win benefits, design-wise.
Okay.
Like they were hard to see, or their spell effects were difficult. Now, this list of champions has been updated, and skins have been updated to allow them to be played. But there are definitely skins, like for Blitzcrank. Blitzcrank is one skin you can't use on Blitzcrank. You'll never see him used in Pro Play because his hook effect is weird. It's hard to see. Let me see here. Who else?
But don't you think, like, because of that, people know about that skin, so then they would learn how to play against that skin? I don't know. I just feel like there's like.
I think the ban list mainly came from not only the pro players being like, "Hey, these skins are really bullshit to play against. We don't want to play against them," but also from a perspective standpoint, like they're hard to follow in game.
Gotcha.
You can't really see what's going on. I think who else has?
Wait, so what's the stance? Like, can they not use skins?
No, they can use skins, but only certain ones. And like, if they pick a skin that's not allowed, the person behind them will tell them, "Hey, that skin's on the no pick list. You gotta switch to a different skin before the game loads. Otherwise, you have to forfeit to change it."
Okay.
Who else? Like I know Lux. Lux had a skin that wasn't allowed to be used, and I think it was Steel Legion Lux, because it had a spell effect on it that was very difficult to see. Like it was basically transparent. You couldn't tell if you were walking into her effect or not until you actually were in it, and then she blows it up and hits you for a lot of damage.
I liked her witch costume or skin.
Which one?
She looks like she could be a part of X-Men.
No.
It was an earlier one.
Sorceress Lux.
Really?
But anyways.
Oh, this one. Sorceress Lux, yeah.
Yeah, they're definitely skins like not allowed to be used. I'm sure there's still some to this day. I know they cleared a lot of them for play, but most people just use either the newest skin or they use the one that has the best
IDK Lux
animation kit.
Lux is the one with the highest number of skins, right? Or is it Ari now?
I think it's a tie between those. It might actually be Annie with the most.
Annie, huh? Let me see.
Because Annie, Misfortune, Ezreal all have a bunch of skins that are now like discontinued. You can't really get unless you unlock them from Roulette. They're so old. They have a lot of skins because they're from the beginning.
This is true.
So coming from someone who doesn't play League, I do know that they had essentially like a version 2, which is what it is now, with like the aesthetic change in a way. Did that affect any of the older skins?
They did an update to the Summer's Rift, and it changed the way the game looks. It went from very cartoony to far more realistic. So a lot of the older skins do look a little off-putting, or at least the older base models look very off-putting to see in the modern game. Like Rumble, for instance, one of my favorite champions that I played from the beginning. his base model is horrific. It's almost impossible to play with. It's just god awful. Most people just use his Super Galaxy skin when they play him because it's much smoother and easier to use.
So, Mr. IDK, just to follow up, Ezreal is the one with the highest number of skins, 15. And then Misfortune is number 2 at 14. And then there's a bunch at 13.
Yeah, that's what I
think. Can we look at Misfortune? Because she's got to be my bottom 5.
Let me put her up on the screen.
Her base skin isn't too hot, in my opinion. It's old and outdated, and they really need to
I mean, it's free money right here, right?
Yeah, but it doesn't match the character they made for her in the lore now. She just doesn't match the way they want her to look now.
She looks like a caricature, that's why. It's just
Yeah, she's a sexy lady with 2 guns.
Female Dante is so much better.
Well, female Dante is an upgraded version of this character. Kind of, theme-wise.
Crime City is pretty cool. That seems like a... So with all these skins, are there certain themes, like Christmas, where they release it for multiple characters?
Yes.
Yes, there are. There's Christmassy skins, Snowdown skins, there's these limited edition skins. Crime City used to be called Mafia, until apparently Riot received enough complaints from Italians that Mafia was insulting, so they changed it. Everyone called bullshit on that. But they changed it to Crime City, which is an awful name.
Bullshit on what? What do you mean bullshit?
Bullshit on the fact they changed the name. It used to be called Mafia Misfortune.
Yeah.
There's Mafia Graves and Mafia Twitch or whatever. Or Gangsta Twitch. But they changed it to Crime City. Out of the blue. With no feedback from the rest of the world community. Because apparently Italians were complaining that Mafia was insulting to them. But the Italian players all said that wasn't them. They didn't say anything about it. So
I mean, it's got to be specifically Italian Americans, right? It's really.
We don't know. They wouldn't tell us. They just said from now on these skins are now called Crime City, and they didn't even give us a chance to vote on or choose a different name. Fine, you can't do Mafia anymore. Call them Syndicate or call them Crime Wave, something like that. Not Crime City. It's just bland and boring. It ruins the feeling of the skin. But anyways, so that's basically what they've been doing on design front, skin front, how they entice you to keep playing. They release these interesting champions that are broken, and then you get hooked, and the champion gets nerfed, and then you stay for the next one. It's kind of like drugs. Next thing we're going to hop into is a little story time with me. How much money have I spent on League of Legends?
Let me guess. Hold on.
I'll let you guess, and then I'll tell you.
So you did mention that each skin costs $14, was it?
Anywhere from $10 to $40.
Huh? 40?
For one of the ultimate skins, they can go up that high, I believe.
Goodness.
But they obfuscate. They hide the real cost behind Riot points. You spend Riot points to unlock these skins. They have to spend money getting.
I'm gonna
games too.
I'm gonna say $3,500.
Good guess. Kagros, do you want to guess how much?
I'm gonna guess 2,000. Only 2,000. About roughly half of what Juicy said.
Good guess. Anyone in chat want to guess how much money I have spent on League of Legends?
Over how many years have you been playing?
For 11 years.
11 years.
On and off.
How much do you spend to get stepped on?
Not as much as I've spent. So Riot can step on me.
All right, IDK.
Alright, you guys had your time. The amount... $750. Wow, I wish I'd only spent $750. So, the amount of money I've spent on League of Legends over the past 11 years, $31.30.
Oh, Juicy, you know IDK. You know him.
I pretty much lived with this guy. He played League of Legends when he should be going to class, should be having dinner when he's playing League of Legends on his computer. I pretty much use his monitor as my nightlight. That's how bright it was.
Unfortunately, you heard my screams and yells as your lullabies to go to bed with. Now, for Paradise Center month, $3,130 is a lot of money spent on one game. But that is spread out over 11 years. And when I spent money on League, I wouldn't buy games for other consoles. I would literally skip playing the biggest hits for that year because I was playing League. I only needed League, and I wanted to spend money. And the first champion sort of popped that cherry for spending money was Italy. She was the first. She had a Halloween skin come out. It was amazing.
I remember that.
Which Italy?
I have a question. Wait, who's Italy again?
Cougar.
The Beast Girl, the Cougar Girl, the Jones.
Yes.
Here, let me.
Of course.
Let me throw it up on the screen again.
Thank you.
I'll throw up the exact skin so I know exactly what skin IDK is talking about as well.
Bewitched Italy.
Yep.
Bewitched my wallet.
You can see it. You can see it. Yeah. You can see it.
Bewitching Italy.
See, the skin didn't look like this before, right? The splash art was different, right?
No, splash art 7. They updated the splash art.
Yeah, this not the splash art. They got the they got the yeah.
The splash art is much better now than it was before. But even then, it was a really cool skin. I love Halloween, and it was limited edition. Like it's never coming back. So
liars.
I bought a Riot card. Yes, we will get to that later. I bought a card to spend Riot points, and I did, and I got her. And I was like, that's it. That's all I'm going to do. Because I even really played Italy. That's the sneaky thing. It gets you hooked on these characters, and you want these skins, even though you don't play them, because you may play them in the future. So after that, a couple months down the line, I was doing my best to withhold from spending money on the game, and then Irie was announced, and then released Christmas. And I couldn't grind fast enough to unlock her with in-game currency. I bought another Riot points card. I bought her bundle.
Kagros, can you please put her up on screen? There's a common trend that you're very much persuaded by the female characters. IDK. Just putting it out there. Very, very much persuaded by these female characters.
Was this her original splash art too?
No, this is different. This is a new one.
Okay, I was like, her splash art wasn't like. I wonder what was her original splash art.
Her original splash art was done by Keenan Lafferty, a Riot splash artist who left Riot after a couple of years. And
I remember this one. I remember this one.
Yeah.
Yep. This one, and, her OG splash art was a lot more sexy. I would say.
Yeah. This was more like reclusive, more mystic.
Yes.
But the two skins she came with were the two skins next in line. The Dynasty one and the Winter one. Midnight one. Those are the two skins you got buying in her bundle. And that was the first champion I bought with money. Because ideally you wanted to earn enough IP to buy them in-game. You wouldn't have to waste money on them. But I really wanted her really badly. So I did that. And that was the rock that broke the dam. After that, put the credit card in every month. $20, $50. Some months it was $100. Just buying skins and buying champions. I didn't buy a ton of champions with RP, so it's kind of a waste because you want a reason to keep playing to unlock new champions. But I had to buy skins. I had to get skins for all the champs. I had to get the cool stuff that was limited. And you just get sucked in and you say, oh, I don't need to play a new video game. I don't need a new console. I have League of Legends. I spend my money on it. I'll reward them for the game they've given me. So and that's how you spend a lot of money.
You want to guess how much I spent on League?
$100.
Juicy, you want to guess how much I spent on League? Chat if you want to jump in as well.
I hope you did spend some money on it. I'm trying to think. You've only spent money on like if League had like charities or something. Like, oh, this proceed goes to like, defeat cancer or something. In that case, I can see you spending maybe $10-15 for cool skin.
So I spent $5 on League.
Nice.
Great shit that I spent $250. No, I spent $5 on League. I played this in college. I have a very, very firm game philosophy when it comes to free-to-play games. If it's free to play, I will not spend. I will try my best not to spend any money on it because I want it's free. Just on the, just by principle. Like if it's free to play, I'm hardcore. This is my definition of being a hardcore gamer. Right? It's like if it's free to play, I'm gonna compete with the people that are spent throwing money in to play this game. So I did spend $5 after like 5 years of playing this for free. So let me show the one that I bought. I actually like this champion too. Like, we haven't talked about, the male champions that are favorite, but this is also one of my favorites. It's Varus.
Ah, yes, Varus.
Yes. And I bought this skin, the Arclight Varus. So Varus is like a corrupted archer. He gets corrupted, corrupted by the darkness, basically. And then, so this Arclight was kind of a, what's the right word? It was a play on it. So so he gets corrupted by the
instead of him being corrupted, he was like pure. And of course now they've changed that lore. Now he's not corrupted by darkness, he's corrupted by a darken.
Yes.
And apparently he's now like 3 people in one, but we won't get into that. But League's lore is all over the place.
Yeah. So this is the one I bought. So I think they used to give us free RP, so I did have several skins, but now it's a lot easier to get skins now. If you want skins now in the current League economy, it's a lot easier to get them. In the previous League economy, you could basically never get skins for free. You had to pay. You absolutely had to pay. But now it's a lot easier to get skins. Like, so the account that I play on League now is a Smurf account. And like the Smurf account now has more skins than my main account, which I haven't touched in a really, really long time. But the Smurf account has a lot more skins now because I get them for free. It's easy to get them for free.
Yes, Riot didn't originally have a loot box system in their game. It was you just bought skins, just paid for skins of champs, and that was it.
Yep.
Once Overwatch came out and introduced loot boxes and that whole phenomenon took over, Riot introduced their own variety. They got a little flack for it, but at the same time, like, you have to play well on a champion to unlock a loot box for them. Yeah. But then you also have to play enough games to unlock shards for keys that you then forge into a key to unlock that box.
Yep.
You can only earn a certain number of boxes per month. So they have a way to entice you to
one thing, so a Smurf is basically like a low-level account that someone that is very good in the game plays. So basically you're smurfing. So you're pretending to be a noob when you're not actually a noob. So that's what
I'm familiar. I'm familiar with Smurf.
Yeah, that's what a Smurf is. So it's like my secondary account. This is my secondary account, but this is the account I play League on now because I have retired my main account because I just want to leave it untouched.
Pristine record.
Yes.
Diamond League. I'm just bullshitting there. I don't know what they have.
All right, let's see here. Let's move on to our rapid fire. We'll skip over Underlords and TFT for right now. We'll get to that. That's going to be like the final section because that's like a different game mode for League. We'll discuss Riot as a company. It's going to be very fast. So Riot as a company started off as an American-based company started by 2 frat boys from USC, Mark Merrill and Brandon Rice, whatever his name is, I don't care. And they made it as a competitor to Dota, Dota All-Stars, which is the precursor to League of Legends. And they were assisted by a guy named Pendragon, who had worked on Dota All Stars as part of the fan community. Wasn't actually part of game development, I don't remember correctly, but he was a part of it. And then he shut down the biggest Dota All Stars fan website and put a big ass sign saying, "Go to League of Legends," which pissed off a lot of Dota people. So to this day, Dota people hate League of Legends. Anyways, these two guys started up League of Legends, and the company grew. LoL started taking off. It got bigger and bigger, and it just ballooned like crazy. People liked playing League of Legends. They got popular. At a certain point, League got so big that they attracted attention from China. They got bought out by Tencent, which, if you've been following the news, is also the owner of some other apps, some other game companies. The person had a whole feud with them and forced them to basically sell, or ex-President Trump had a feud with them, to say the least. And now Riot is 100% owned by Tencent. They originally formed a pairing with them so that they could release League of Legends in China.
I have a question, Dr. IDK. So,
Yes.
League, I thought it was created by people that created the Dota, game off of Warcraft 3.
League did have some developers from.
It had the original developer, or it was one of the.
They had some of the original developers. They had Gunso, who was one of the original developers, along with Ice Frog and Pendragon, and a couple other guys.
I don't think Ice Frog wasn't the original developer. He was not one of the original. I think Ginsu wasn't even the original one too. Hold on.
They're the ones. They're the big names everybody knows.
Yes, so like Dota has had many iterations where it was under, they had a main developer. So Ice Frog is now the current one, but before that, I think Ginsu was one of them. But I think Yule was the first one. Yule was the first developer, I believe, and then it got passed to Ginsu. And the reason why I know this is because there are items in Dota 1 that are named after these people. So Yule's is the original developer, I believe, and then it got passed to Ginsu. Let me make sure here. Yeah, so the first version of Defense of the Ages was released in 2003 by Yule, and then after that, Dota All Stars was created by two people, and then after that, Ginsu, who took control of the development. So Ginsu, he isn't the original one. He was in the line of succession, basically. So
right.
Yeah,
he's the one that kept it going and kept it getting bigger and more popular.
Yep.
And Ice Frog would take over for him when Dota would eventually get bought out by Valve.
Yep.
For Dota 2.
Yep.
Gunso went to League and helped design League, and Pendragon came along, who was running the biggest fan website for Dota All Stars at the time, and shut it down. Basically, to undercut Dota and support League. And when League decided to expand into China, they had to partner with Tencent because there was no way for an American company to break into China at the time without a Chinese company helping them. I think that's still the rule to this day.
Makes sense.
Then eventually Tencent bought them, but is letting them do what they want to do. But is this segue into the next point of Riot sort of catering to the Chinese market? You may hear a lot of Western fans complain about, because there'll be a lot of Chinese themed skins or a lot of things that we used to get. Like we used to get a lot of Western themed skins, like Christmas or pure Halloween or like the Olympics. Things that the American fan base would, or the Western fan base would, claim for and clamor for. And now Riot does a lot of things like Eastern-based skins. They just did a whole bunch of K-pop skins. They have these Chinese skins coming out to appeal to the Chinese audience. They have like the wuxia novels.
Mm-hmm.
Probably butchering that, sorry. But they have a skin line for that. Like they catered to China. It feels like a lot more than Westerns, especially with the skin design, especially with champion design. Kaisa is basically like Samus Ryan, but in League. She's in a sexy like rubber suit, basically. It's made out of like an alien. Like, her original concept was much more monstrous, much more alien-looking, and it got changed to be a beautiful woman. And a lot of people feel like it's China's fault for the reason why we're not getting enough monster champions, or we're not getting enough non-humanoids. And Riot, of course, has rebuffed this by saying those champs and those characters don't make money, and they're not as popular, so they don't want to spend as much time working on them. But at the end of the day, that is sort of catering to your biggest audience. And China is the biggest audience right now for League of Legends. They are huge. They outnumber all the other regions by a magnitude of millions. No. So there's a bit of a Riot's in cahoots to service their biggest audience, but it's not nearly as bad as most people think. It's just, it feels that way because now we're not the main audience anymore. Let's see here. Who is Rito and now Dorito? Well, I know who Rito is. Rito is a joke name for Riot. Back in the old days, people would always go, Rito Plz. Like, Rito Plz, like, do something.
Rito Plz! Please nerf, like, please nerf, nerf Aurelia, nerf Aurelia, Rito.
It's like a community nickname for Riot. Whenever we want them to just like, Rito, please nerf Aurelia, Rito, please, add back its champion, Rito. Just really a joke. Controversies within Riot. We'll cover this briefly, but Riot has had a lot of controversies in the past 3 or 4 years. I'm sure you've heard about it in the news. Women in the workplace being mistreated, sexually abused, harassed, not being made to feel comfortable there, sexual and physical harassment of male employees, employees in general. You know, nothing worse than going to a meeting, having your CFO come in, smack someone's balls, and then fart in someone's face. Yes, you heard that right. The CFO for Riot, who still works there, he got put on leave, but he still was getting paid, came into a meeting, smacked someone's balls, and then farted in someone's face. Riot has a very bro culture from the top down, and a lot of people have described it as being very inclusive only to people who enjoy that. If you're not a bro or bra, you ain't gonna like it then. Now they claim they're changing and they're gonna fix that, but we all know change is slow. Maybe they have, maybe they're not. Maybe they're hiding it better now.
I can attest to that culture because I've had coworkers who came from Riot, and it's very obvious that they would have fit there very well. That's all I would say.
Yeah. And they kind of force you to do it that way too. If you don't join their little clan, if you don't join their brohood, you're kind of ostracized, and you quickly want to leave. Which is probably why they have a policy where if you get hired by them and after 30 days you don't want to work there anymore, they'll let you go. They'll pay you and let you go. Not free. You can go somewhere else. It's a very odd culture that they built there. It kind of also relates to their development cycles as well. They seem to have a lack of communication. And it's something they're working on. But when you look at League of Legends and some of the other games, you're like, man, they just don't seem to get it. They don't know what they're doing. But you can't help keep playing because you're addicted. You're hooked. You like these characters and champions. You don't want to stop playing. Let's see here. I think that covers all the random Riot questions. Now, before we get to TFT, we will discuss what Riot has done very well since the beginning, and that's advertising for League of Legends. Out of the traditional sense, their advertising for League is actually pretty bad in terms of like putting ads on YouTube videos or having ads on banners across the internet. They finally got into that like 3 or 4 years ago. Where they really want to take the pro scene and make it big for LCS, and then eventually the LCK and the EU LCS, which is now called something else, I don't remember, or LEC. Like, they wanted to pump up their pro leagues. They had to change and make advertising better for League. But what they have always done is put out nice big cinematics for people to like watch and get excited about League for if you've never seen it before. And one that Juicy mentioned before was KDA. So So, before Worlds, a couple of years ago, Riot put together a skin line called KDA. And it involved 4 female characters, Evelyn, Irie, Kaisa, and Kali. And this skin line was very popular. And they released a music video for them because they were a band. Now, this wasn't the first band they'd done. They'd done a Pentakill band before that had been very popular too. And they released a musical album for them as well. But KDA was the one that really took them all, into the general conscious. They blew up. Because it was K-pop. K-pop was popping at the time, still is. People saw this music video of these characters and was like, wow, this is really good. The animation's really good. The music's really good because they had a lot of talented singers and dancers do the choreography for it. It was very, very well put together. And Riot has sort of been doing that ever since. But, they had KDA, they had a KDA sequel. They had another band come out called Giants or something. It was more of a rap thing. It wasn't as popular, but it's still decent. But they also have some of their classic cinematics where they showcase characters battling each other. Or just recently they had a cinematic, sort of like a Saturday morning cartoon involving the Yordle characters, the little furry creatures. They had that as sort of like a Looney Tunes cartoon, kind of. It was really cool. And they're trying to entice you into their world with these cinematics. They've been doing it since the beginning. And it works. You watch one of them, you've never played League before, and your friend shows you a video, and you're like, whoa, that's super cool. I want to play that game. And then you play League, and you're like, why am I playing League? Why am I here? Why do my teammates suck?
Yeah, it's like their trailers aren't about their gameplay, it's just about their characters and their just like the flavor. And I think they do that very well.
Which is why
I know you're going down these questions. Sorry, RDK.
No, this is... We only have one thing left beyond this, and that's discussing TFT and Underlords. But regarding the cinematics, they definitely do make you want to taste more of their world, which is why, before we get into TFT and Underlords, we should go over the fact that Riot Games did actually put an S at the end of their name, like I alluded to at the beginning of the stream, because they released several games in a row, and they've announced several more coming out. And going through those very briefly, we have League of Legends as the main game. They started with their bread and butter. Then they released TFT, which is Teamfight Tactics, which was released based around the same time that the auto chess genre was blowing up. I loved it. They were all playing it in their studios, so they decided to make a clone of it. It's gotten popular. Legends of Runeterra is their card game. It's basically their way of competing with Magic, Gathering Online,
That's right.
and Blizzard's Hearthstone, and the other card games. Now, it should be noted that Riot wanted to do a card game a long time ago, and this was actually leaked 6-7 years ago, and it turns out that the game fell through because it couldn't come out before Hearthstone did. And Riot wasn't confident in the direction they were going, so they just scrapped it and focused on League. Now, in addition to those games, so they have League, TFT, Legends of Runeterra, and
Valorant.
Oh, it's Valorant too. They're Valorant, their shooter, their take on Counter-Strike, which has slowly been growing popular as well. They have those games currently running, and you can play them. They also have a Diablo-esque clone in development, apparently. They haven't shown too much of that. They have a fighting game in development. They've shown bits and pieces of that. They also have just recently announced that they are building an MMO. Now they're going to do a League of Legends Runeterra WoW clone. Some people are speculating.
Did you also mention the Rune King? That weird that indie game that's made by an indie studio?
That's next. Now Riot has created something called the Riot Forge, where independent developers can submit to create games for Riot. And so the first two they released, one of the developers is Syndicate Airship Syndicate, and they're known for War Chasers, which was a game based on an old comic book series. Did very well, and so now they're making a League of Legends game based on the same style. It's very interesting, based on the Ruined King. Should be interesting. They also have another game. I don't remember what it's called, but it's based on Piltover and Zon, two areas in Runeterra, and it's going to focus on Echo, I think, one of the characters from there. And they have more in development, probably. They've really put the S in their name. They've really tried to get as much content out there to get people interested in their game series and their characters without having to force them to play League. The League is showing its age. Do their best to keep it fresh, like we said, but people do get burned out. So I'm sure their idea is to, hey, you used to play League of Legends? You used to have favorite characters? Well, guess what? Now you can play like a card game, Legends of Runeterra. You can play TFT, it's auto chess. You can play Valorant, which has League references in it, but it's actually a new universe, a new IP, if you got into shooters. You have different avenues of playing Riot games to stay in their player base, so that you don't escape their gravity. You are playing a Riot game. If it's League of Legends, great. If it's not, whatever. You're playing.
I'm surprised that Valorant isn't, because I always thought Valorant was like a Overwatch competitor, which now they've mentioned it, it is more of a Counter-Strike competitor. But I'm surprised that they're not using the League of Legends universe.
I think it's like they decided for that they really wanted to try step out on their own outside the comfort zone of League of Legends, the IP. So they made the Valorant IP, and it's doing pretty well for them because they're not limited by any previous lore or character designs. They can make new, unique stuff, and it's going well enough for them. I don't personally play it because I'm not a huge shooter fan, but I know people who have played it who really like it. And apparently it's doing decently well against things like Overwatch or Apex Legends, or even against Counter-Strike itself. It's not that I'm not getting them down. It's not going to be an undisputed king of that game genre, but it's not dying. It's not Artifact. It's doing well. Now that we've gotten that all done, we can finally move on to our final topic of the evening. TFT versus Underlords. Now, my dear viewers, you must know TFT stands for Teamfight Tactics and is based on a game called Auto Chess?
Yes, Auto Chess.
Something like that.
Auto Chess,
which is a popular mod or like popular game you could play in Dota 2. And Riot got hooked on that, decided to make their own version, and away they went. And another competitor that came out was called Underlords. Basically tried to do the same thing. It's another take on the auto chess genre. They're both very different. They both play very differently. They're based on they have different character sets and what have you. And in the end, it looks like Riot has won the battle. Because Underlords isn't doing too hot these days.
Underlords failed to innovate. That's what happened.
Underlords gave a more authentic experience to the original auto chess, but Riot's innovations ultimately won the day.
Yes.
And their constant updates and their changes.
Yeah, and then also TFT is just, it's more exciting. It's not grindy. Like, I think, so all of us have played Underlords, right? And we all know the exact point where Underlords went downhill. It was the update when they actually added in Underlords and then doubled the HP of all units to make it slower, to make it, and then after that, it just wasn't as exciting anymore. Even when things were broken as hell, right? Like, you guys remember what was it, Arc Warden Refresher Orb, that fiasco,
yeah.
and then they changed what was it called, they changed the trait so that basically if you hit them, then there's a chance to be, disarmed, right? So, like, stuff like that was broken, right? But if you gotta do it, you're just like, I'm gonna crush you all, right? Like, at least there was some excitement, right? But like after they released the Underlords, they did innovate though. They did innovate with the duo mode, which was really fun. You got to play with a friend, right? I remember playing with
Yeah.
IDK. IDK was really fun, and then they introduced turbo mode,
Mm-hmm.
and turbo was really fun too because you could literally play. It's a 10-minute game, and you basically get all the excitement of one game crammed down in 10 minutes. And
Yes.
I think those two game modes were actually really, really fun. But it didn't help that the core base of the game was, when they introduced Underlords, it just became a grind fest. Like, actually, no, grind fest isn't the right way to do it. It just became like a slog fest, right? Where you're like, oh my gosh, why we went from a game it took you like half an hour to 40 minutes to play a game to like 50 to 60-minute games, right? And my lunch break doesn't go that long.
Yeah. That was indeed the problem. They finally got their namesake into the game, but it wasn't the best thing to come to the game.
I think it was unique. It was unique. Don't get me wrong. The Underlords thing was unique.
It was unique.
But the fact that they doubled all the HP units was not. I think that was when it started going. For that reason, it went downhill. And they also tried to. Maybe if they introduced them separately, the Underlords in one update and then the doubling HP in another update, maybe it would have been better. But I don't know.
One reason another Underlords started to stall off a cliff, while TFT rose to the top, and TFT introduced the concepts of there being I call it a roulette, but it's not a roulette. It's a carousel, where you, after battling on your boards, you all come together in the center, and there'd be a bunch of champions with items circling in the middle. And depending on where you were in the rankings, you got to go first or last, picking what champion or item you needed or wanted for your comp. This wasn't in Battle Royales, or it wasn't in Auto Chess. It wasn't in Underlords. It was something Riot innovated and put in. And originally I hated it. It was very annoying. It disturbed the flow of the game and made it so that certain champions you needed for a build would be locked in the carousel. And if you didn't get it then, you were kind of screwed because you weren't going to get it. But now, as we've played it more and more, you've become more accustomed and used to it and expectant of it. Like, the carousel gives you a chance if you're at the bottom of the standings to come back. Whereas at the top, maybe you're running a build where you need a certain champion in the carousel that other people don't need, so you're likely to get them at the end anyways. They might have a crappy item, but you can still get them. Or maybe you're flexible enough in your builds where you don't really need any of the items from the carousel, so you'll just take whatever's left. That's a design choice, as a gameplay element that isn't present in their games, that ends up making them boring and makes TFT more exciting.
Yeah, design-wise, the carousel definitely stood out. I think it's really. I know their intentions. Like I think it's like, okay, you have this many number of items, right? And then you want like the weakest player to choose, whatever item they want first. And
Right.
But then to do it based on a carousel seems kind of dumb. But I can also see it where like there is no other way of designing it in a way, just because, I don't know, like let's say you go AFK and they're just waiting on the weakest player to pick their item before the next person can pick their item. I don't know, maybe like they should have a timer. Says like,
oh, that's the thing. There is a timer. Like the first two lowest get released, and then they can sort of like circle the carousel for like maybe 3 or 4 seconds, maybe a little longer than that.
yeah.
Before the next guys come out. So if you're like, you want an item that's on the far side of the carousel and it's spinning away from you, you have to try to run towards it. By the time you're running towards it, another player may be like, oh, you want that champion? You want that item? I just got freed, bitch. Here I go. And then they steal it from you. People will steal shit from you if they know what you're running. And they'll take it from you. And you can get really pissed off. But even if you're the last place, and even if you're unlocked first to get what you want, you may not actually get what you want because it's too far away from you, or someone else wants it, or someone else knows you want it. They're going to steal it from you. Then there's also the idea of sets. Now, Riot will let you play with a certain group of characters, a certain group of traits, for a set amount of time, usually about 6 months, before they'll introduce a new set. That way you don't get too comfortable, you don't get too bored with whatever meta has shown up. And they still balance things every couple of weeks as well. It's kind of like their trademark. They're always balancing, nerfing, buffing. It keeps things interesting, but also can get a little frustrating to come back after a while and be like, oh yeah, I used to build this build, and now your build is either gone, destroyed, it doesn't work anymore, or it's been nerfed to obscurity. You're just not going to be able to play it anymore, so you have to pick up and learn something new. It's a little annoying, but it's not nearly as bad as League of Legends, where like your mastery of a champion can be completely thrown out the door. It's like, oh, this build you used to do doesn't work anymore. Okay, what is the new build? And you just look it up and you build it.
Kagros, are you a fan of like the 6-month rotation?
I think it's good. I think it definitely keeps things fresh. Underlords got kind of stale because they didn't update fast enough, and I think a lot of the problems that we saw in Underlords, TFT actually addressed. So like I said, we pointed out for Underlords the problem was that big update, right? So in addition to the whole, adding Underlords in, and then doubling the HP, and they also introduced new champion or new heroes in Underlords at the same time too. And I think ultimately the net result was that they added more champions and they took away champions or heroes, I believe, and that dilutes the pool. So then TFT tried that, and they had the issue where it dilutes the pool. And then eventually they learned from it, saying that, if we're gonna keep if we make updates to the hero pool, the champion pool, it's gonna be at the end it's gonna be the same number of units in the pool. And so they, Underlords they also did introduce the reroll mechanic. What was it, the
jail? You mean?
No, not the jail. The blacklist, the rerolling blacklist mechanic, which really helps smooths out your rolls, right? So like if you the blacklist mechanic is if you roll away units for that round, you will not see those units appear in your shop again. So if you're looking for one unit and you save a bunch of gold, you can re-roll, and then basically all the misses, you won't see them. So it slightly increases your chance to see the unit that you want. So TFT tried that, and they did not like it because they did not want people to consistently get their builds. And that's my problem with TFT, is that they really use RNG to balance their game. And I understand this is a draft. This is a drafting game, right? So there should be some RNG. But it's just like Hearthstone, right? Hearthstone uses RNG to balance their game too, right? That's why I don't like Hearthstone at all as a card game, because they use RNG. Like, you pray to RNGesus, and you guys know me. My luck is absolute trash, right? Absolute trash. So when you use RNG to balance a game, I just, oh my god, it pisses me off. I understand, Underlord TFT Auto Chess is an RNG game, but it's like Magic, right? Any card game has RNG built into it. But when you make it like the primary system of balancing your game, in my opinion, that's just terrible game design. Like, if it's a secondary mechanism to balance your game, like in card games, right? Like, I understand, like, you have to shuffle your deck, and and you draw the cards out of your deck, and you build your deck to be consistent, right? But the RNG is there to balance it. Otherwise, you're playing solitaire, right? If I can choose what cards I can get out of my deck every time, right? You're literally gonna do the same thing every single game. The RNG keeps it fresh, right? So and then I think that's fine. But if RNG is your primary method of balancing things, like it is in Hearthstone and TFT, I really don't like it. That's why I like Underlords for certain things. I like TFT for certain things, but ultimately TFT is, at the end of the day, it is more fun.
Well, I mean, that leads also to the question of, do you still play Underlords?
No, like I said, I play TFT because
I wish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think pre 1.0 it was actually pretty fun. But it did get stale. But there was like a sense of like the gameplay being streamlined, or maybe it's just me like knowing how to play the game that made it fun. But ever since the Underlords patch, it just went downhill. Something felt really off.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's sort of the reason why we have TFT now is sort of like the winner between the two. Now, the auto chess, I don't know if it's still ongoing. I do know the original developers made a new version and have been sort of hawking that, and it got kind of popular. There's been plenty of clones as well. But the reason why I play TFT, when I do, admittedly right now I haven't really been playing as much because I'm stuck in Platinum Hell trying to find a game. The reason why I play is because it's in Riot Universe. It's in League Universe.
Mm-hmm.
It's tied right into the League client. When I boot up League, by TFT, I'm basically at home in a game system and environment that I've been a part of for years. So I have no problem booting up and playing it because I'm used to being there. Whereas Underlords, you know, it wasn't fun to play, and it was on Steam, and I don't really feel like booting up Steam for it. You know, even though there might be other games I want to play, I don't want to play Underlords.
Yeah, the one question I did want to go down was like Dota versus League. That's something I don't really know much of, but maybe we can save it for another day.
Yeah.
But it seems like
in a single line, in one sentence. Actually, that's not really one sentence, but League balances their game. So just in terms of gameplay, League balances their game through champions. Dota balances their game through items. So you can, and so basically as a result, League has a lot more things that are OP. In Dota, everyone is OP. And therefore, no one is OP.
Yeah, I'd say we can leave it at that. It's mainly different design philosophies based on how they balance.
Yeah.
Dota balances once, every year? One or two times a year?
No. They do major balance patches. They still do major balance patches. But like I said,
but it's not as frequent as
yeah, it's not frequent. I think they do it like once a month. Or maybe once every 2 months. Like they have minor patches like bug fixing patches, but they balance their game through items, and because all heroes have access to the items, it's basically champions are there to counterpick each other. That's what they're there for. When the drafting, I think the draft portion of Dota is a lot more significant because you have to counterpick. You absolutely have to counterpick. In League, counterpicking there is at the highest levels of play, it's important. But in Dota, you need to do it at all levels of play. You need to counterpick like hard. Otherwise, like you can get one hero that can't get countered, and like you can buy items to stop it, but it won't be enough. Like you need to do like there's a lot of. I think in Dota the game is a lot more of the game is decided in champion selection than in League for sure.
Yeah, I'd agree. League has that issue too, but League specifically designs champions to not be able to hardlock each other out.
Yeah,
if Dota. Hardlock's discovered, they found a way to balance it. In Dota, you can pick a certain hero, and then the other team is like, oh, lol, here we go, pick this one.
Yeah, to counter this one, to counter you.
Now you're screwed.
Yep.
Yeah, and there's also different mechanics too. Like with League and Dota, League being sort of like the successor to Dota in a way, they trimmed some of the stuff that they knew new players weren't going to want to learn or play or deal with. Turn radius for champions. You know, one of the ways that Dota uses to balance range versus melee. League cut that out because it makes the game feel kind of clunky. And then denying CS.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you really touch the mechanics of League, but one of the big mechanics that comes with Dota and League is creep score. No creeps, the last second you get gold. In Dota, you can deny your opponent from getting a creep score. They can do the same to you. In
Yeah,
League,
the big thing about denying in Dota is that when you deny a creep, the enemy team gets less EXP for that death. That's an important thing.
Yep. Yeah, there's a skill to it. Where Riot didn't want to do that, they want to make the game easier to play. They just made it so all you had to do was focus on your own. You still deny in League, but it's via a alternative method. Basically, force them on the lane or kill them, and run their creeps into the tower and have the tower kill them for you. You can't do it yourself. Technically, you used to be able to back in the old days, but they got rid of it pretty quickly.
Another game I do want to mention that's not a competitor is Heroes of the Storm. I find that to be something that was supposed to be like a solution to all these hardcore MOBA games where you don't have to like kill creeps or anything like that, and it's like a 15-20 minute game.
Yep.
Any thoughts on that?
I actually preferred Heroes of the Storm because I hate last hitting. I hate killing creeps and that stuff. And Heroes of the Storm was an objective based game. There was no gold and anything like that. So like it was a nice casual game. 15-20 minutes. Some games end in 10 minutes. And like if it really rewards teamwork because ultimately it's an objective based game. You don't get really anything for killing the opponents. You need to just, there's an objective and there's multiple maps, right? It's not just one map like in League and Dota, right? Multiple maps. I think I played with IDK Heroes of the Storm for a while too. I think we played for a bit.
We did. We played when we got sick of League and the crap they were putting there. And Heroes of the Storm was enjoyable in the beginning. Later on, not so much, a huge grind fest, but it had interesting ideas. Execution-wise, it kind of didn't hit all the right points. But not having to do CS was a big one. And to constantly grow up in team fight was another plus. Interesting maps with interesting objectives made gameplay unique and fresh. Provided you didn't get one of the maps that was really frustrating to play on. And the champion matchups, or the hero matchups, weren't too bad either. No one, at least from what I remember, no one really stopped anyone else really that hard.
No, I don't agree with that.
You could kind of pick whoever you wanted to and still have success. And there were a couple heroes who were
trash,
difficult to play or were trash. Like, if you had an adversary on your team, you didn't understand what the hell he did, you'd get very upset when he wasn't going to lane and doing anything.
Oh god. Avatar was like either...
Someone picked the three dwarves dude.
The Lost Vikings. That's a
very difficult champion, or difficult hero to play as. But people aren't going to know that until they play him. So you control three separate people with three separate skill sets.
Mm-hmm.
It's for a macro, which is something that League doesn't have because they don't have the tech for it. They also don't want to introduce it yet, I'm sure. Yeah. I hear those don't had some interesting ideas. Blizzard tried to join the party at the end, like they always do.
After a long legal battle, too. After a long legal battle as well. Which is...
With who? Yes. Oh, with Dota?
Yeah, with Dota. There was a long legal battle. I mean, this is the Riot episode, right? So, Riot actually jumped into that lawsuit, too. Obviously, to hurt Dota, right? They jumped into it as well. So... Like I think Ginsu was part of the lawsuit because he's like I created Dota or something like that. And I also think it was they definitely jumped in there as well. But I think in terms of skill level, I think Heroes was the easiest, the lowest skill level, and then League's in the middle, and then Dota the skill level is so much, or like the how easy it is, I think the better way to see is how high is the skill ceiling. So the skill ceiling for Heroes is pretty low, and then above that you have League, and then like miles above that you have Dota. I think the skill ceiling on Dota is amazing. Like Like it's, I can't think of a good analogy. Like
Is it like on a StarCraft level?
I would say so. Like the APM is pretty ridiculous, and like the timing. So it's like imagine playing. Which fighting game has strictest inputs? I'm trying to think
I
of
think Street Fighter. Like you have like the
it,
one frame links and all that stuff.
is there a game that's more technical than Street Fighter, or is Street Fighter the most technical game?
The only other game I can think of is Dive Kick. So Dive Kick is pretty. So I'm just trolling. I can't.
Oh
I
wait,
can't
so,
really
so
think
but
of any
yeah,
other
but
fighting game.
like Dota, there's a lot of interesting mechanics. You know, like introduced in addition to the systems that IDK mentioned. There's also when you die, you actually lose gold, which is pretty big, and like there are a lot of I don't want to say they're one frame, but there's some really crazy stuff you can do in Dota. Like the most famous one, it's a pretty old one. I don't know if they can still do it, but it's like so there's Pudge, and Pudge has a hook, so you can hook
Mhm.
champions to him. And there is, if you time it correctly, there's a way so that when you hook them, you can hook them all the way back to your base. I forgot if it's with Chen or if it's with IO. I think it's with Chen, where it teleports them all the way to your base and basically teleports them, and then they get killed instantly by the fountain.
Hmm.
So it's there are a lot of things that take like basically split second inputs that make a huge difference. I think Dota is a much more technical game than the other two. Definitely the other, yeah, and so I think that's how I would rank them. So for that reason, a lot of my friends like Dota a lot more because it's just a lot more skill intensive than League.
But there is also the issue, and I suppose we end it with this, where League has continued to grow by leaps and bounds. It's
They're better at marketing. That's why.
They're better at marketing,
It's like Apple versus I'm trying to think. I mean, just Apple versus Android, right? Like, actually, no, sorry. I want to say like Macs versus Linux, right? If you're a technical person, you prefer Linux, right? And it's definitely better. But Macs, they're just better at marketing. And then you have Microsoft, which is Heroes, Heroes of the Storm.
The thing is, League continues to attract people to it, whereas Dota is having an issue where their player base is, I wouldn't say it's on the decline, but it's not like it's growing. It just either maintains or drops, and maybe it has a little growth spurt. Like some people will hop on to TI, their Worlds tournament, and then it drops back down when people realize Dota's a very hard game to play.
Yeah, it's a very hard game to play.
They don't want to play anymore, or they're tired of the Russians screaming at them. I mean, I don't anticipate Dota disappearing anytime soon. I don't anticipate League disappearing anytime soon. Here's the Storm is on live support.
I mean, Heroes of the Storm died 3 years ago, or whatever whatever.
It's not live support, like, development-wise. There's not any developers working on it anymore. But there's still a player base. There's still people playing. So until Blizzard pulls the plug, it's still going to be there as an option. You don't like League, and you don't want to dare touch Dota, Here's the Storm works fine. It's probably pretty fun still. I think that will wrap it up, my friends, for our Riot episode. We covered a lot, and we had a good time, and we can all laugh at me for spending so much money on this game.
They look really cool. Based on the artwork, I can understand why you spent money. Like, I would spend like at least $20. At least 2 skins.
There is the experience of getting a new skin and you play the game, have someone be like, "Whoa, that skin's awesome!" Like, "Oh, that's so cool!" And then they stop you and they're like, "Ah, too bad, you still suck." Or having a cool skin on your main and beating someone up and they're like, "Wow, old chat OP, skin's OP." Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I will accept your assault.
You're single-handedly keeping Riot alive. Tencent alive.
Tencent. All hail Tencent.
I did in those early days. Now there's tons of gamers supporting across multiple games. But that will be the end of our Riot episode, ladies and gentlemen. That is the end of episode 13. Are there any final words, my fellow?
Rito, please. Rito, please nerf. Please nerf.
Rito, please make League fun again. Please.
League, thank you for supporting Mac. I don't know how long it's been, but I'm finally on board.
It was a while ago. They finally got a decent Mac client made. But with that, that'll be the end. Thank you all for watching and enjoying us as we talk about random things regarding the Riot. Kagros, would you like to tell them where to find us if they want more?
Yes, one last time, if you did enjoy this, please subscribe on our Twitch channel if you're watching this live, or please subscribe if you're watching our videos on YouTube. And that way you'll get notified when we're either streaming or when we release one of our episodes. With that, once again, from our team, from our podcasting team, from the Thumbstick Adventurer, to you, the viewer, we just want to thank you for watching us. And I guess until next time, take care. Bye.
Bye, y'all.